Coach, I know it's early, but with limited restrictions, are you expecting more true freshmen to see playing time this year than in years past?
Well, they've had more time to get ready, so just in that time factor, I think you would lead to believe to give them a better chance to play. Um, I don't know that that necessarily will mean that, but it has given them more time to develop in their classes where now they can kind of get in the groove and get ready for, some 25 practices.
And first day, but did any of the true freshmen sort of jump out to you?
Joey Hobart.
Anything in specific with Joey Hobart?
I just, you know, there wasn't a real adjustment period for him. I thought he practices like he belongs. He's not, the stage isn't too big for him. I think he's got a good grasp of the play calls and playbook, and no, he acts older than the true freshman.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cody Schuler, go ahead with Daily Evergreen.
Hey, Coach, I'm just wondering, what was kind of your mindset going into this first practice, being that, you have a shorter off-season period than normal? Were you trying to fit more in than usual, or were you treating it like a normal first day?
No, probably the opposite. Most of my concern is making sure that we're not doing too much physically too early as far as, their health. They haven't had a normal training cycle before training camp. So I think that's where my concentration is making sure we don't overwork these guys, especially receivers early on.
And was the atmosphere any different than normal, seeing as how there was such a huge layoff? Like, did you see guys maybe being more excited than usual?
Pretty hungry, pretty happy to be there. I think it's been a long journey to the first practice. So I think it not only, it gives them a little bit of validity for everything they've been through this year, and they've been through a lot. Every school's been through a lot, but I appreciated their focus and effort. These guys, they like playing football.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Theo, go ahead.
Hey, Nick, did you guys have full attendance today at practice? Was there anyone that you kind of expected to be there that couldn't play because of injury or
Everybody we expected to be there was there, Theo. The first day. I get it.
You kind of assess the play of the
quarterbacks. How about this one, Theo? I got a fortune cookie without a fortune in it. I don't know what that means, but that's never happened to me before.
Could be a good sign. Can you kind of assess the play of the quarterbacks and what kind of jumped off the bat? I know you haven't seen Cameron Cooper and Gunnar Cruz. You've probably seen Jaden Delora play a little bit in person, having recruited him. But can you kind of speak to all three and what jumped off the bat today?
Well, we've got to spend a little time with them in the walkthroughs up to this period, so it wasn't like we were going in terribly blind. I think Gunnar is a very outspoken leader. He's very dialed in on a lot of the mechanical stuff as far as the offense goes. Not necessarily, not talking throwing mechanics. I'm talking just all the mechanical things. I think he's really encouraging and has a better grasp of the complete offense than I think Stutz has done a good job virtually with these guys, getting them ready. Scared me. Who you want to go next? What else? Who you want to know about next? Cam?
Just Cam and Jaden.
Cam. Again, everyone's got a little bit different personality, and that's okay. I think Cam has shown confidence. I think he's shown that he wants to be the guy. I think he's had some nice deep ball throws, nice touch on the ball. And all three of them are really, I was impressed how dialed in they were with a lot of the stuff we asked them to do. Jaden kind of in that Joey Hobart, a lot of those same characteristics where, he's not the lights aren't too big for him at this level. I think he knows why he came here and is kind of relevant in the opportunity.
Keith Oso, go ahead.
Coach, I think a fortune cookie without a fortune is just a cookie. We'll get to that another time.
Keith Oso.
Also, that means bear. Big guy.
Yeah, that's right, bear. It's Spanish, but or I'm Italian, but we'll take it.
That's why I knew it was bear.
Yeah, we'll take it. You touch on this a little bit. I just want to get a little further. You had to wait 8 months for today. I mean, the first real training camp practice. I mean, that's not what anybody expected. For you personally, how nice was it to get out there, and were you happy with what you saw out of your guys in their first full practice?
Yeah, it was definitely a different journey than we anticipated, but it was very gratifying to be on the field with those guys and the coaching staff, and the help we get from the trainers, the equipment. I mean, it's I think everybody top to bottom was excited to get going again. And what was the second question, Big Bear?
Just were you pleased with what you saw of your guys in their first time out there?
Well, there's going to be a lot of stuff to correct, I'm sure, but I think you judge mostly on their effort and their desire to be there. And what was good, you're not in shoulder pads or anything, but I think they have a good concept of how to practice, get things done, but not be chaotic or put people in situations where injuries can happen. So, and that goes to the position coaches and doing a nice job explaining the drills and what we're focusing on. And, that fine line between competition and negative team chemistry can be a fine line. And I think they did a good job of that today.
Brennan Green. Oh, go ahead.
Nope, you're fine. Go ahead.
Also talk now.
Yeah, I'm a talker.
Okay.
Hold on. Brenna, hold on. Keith, go ahead.
Coach, the last thing I wanted to ask you is, sorry, Brenna. You guys have gone through like 1,000, maybe 1 million mental reps on what, you're expecting out of your offense and things like that. How long do you expect before you can see what you're happy with on the field of them translating what you're trying to get done?
Oh, I think they're doing a nice job. They did a nice job today. But mental reps in what we do offensively can only go so far when you're talking about chemistry between the quarterback and the receiver, talking about receiver and receiver. You're talking about doing things fast, pieces moving, a lot of that stuff. I think you can get to a level mentally, whether, it's almost like a coaching clinic type deal where you can learn it all, but then you got to go out and do it. And there's got to be some kinks we got to work through.
Brenna, go ahead.
Hey, you didn't ask if Big Oso was done yet.
Hey, anybody who gets addressed as Big Bear gets to take the floor. That's how that works. Did you guys end up having anybody who opted out due to COVID-19 reasons on your team?
Have we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who?
I don't know if I can say that. Can I say that?
It's up to you.
I don't know. I better figure out if I can say that or not, Jenna. Or Brent, I'm sorry. Let me ask that question first.
Okay.
What else, Brenna?
Just seeing a guy like Skyler Thomas as well, who, went into the transfer portal and then decided to come back to Wazoo. What do you think it meant to him to be out there on the field today after that whole situation?
Well, I think, I'm not sure how many people know this, but that was when we were not having a season. I appreciate Skyler's communication throughout the whole process. We were very open with each other. We knew, most guys, when they go in the transfer portal, you don't hear about it, and it's just we're parting ways. But, he asked if he could see, with his situation and having some film already, if he can get to someplace and play this fall. And, we said, okay, well, we got to get a few days to explore, but at some point I got to, especially I think we were getting close to the semester starting. So you're talking about scholarship numbers and what counts and what doesn't. And I really appreciated the openness. I thought the plan worked fine. If he would have found a home that was better for him when we weren't going to play, I would be happy for him and cheering for But we're happy to have him back. That was very similar to Tay. When Tay got in the portal, it was, I get it. This is the best for you right now. I appreciate the communication. We've worked in it together. I made a call to Oklahoma State, and we called some other places who were playing for him because I think he deserved the opportunity to play, and he had his own personal situation where life's coming fast for everybody when you're in your senior year. So I was happy to be part of that, both of those situations. Now, I wish I knew we were going to have a season. We could have handled it. Probably wouldn't have happened, to be honest with you, but it is what it is now, and we'll move forward.
It seemed like it was really hard on Skyler in particular. Like he really wanted to be a Coug, but he felt like he needed to go. Do you think it meant anything extra to him for him to be out on that field today when he thought he might never suit up for the Cougs again?
Probably. I haven't asked him that question, but he's a very emotional football player. I think even in his body language, you can tell that he likes football, and I'm sure that was a good feeling for him out there today.
Any other questions for Coach before we bring in student athletes? Theo, go ahead.
Yeah, can you kind of describe what the COVID-19 testing procedure was like before practice? How many players are kind of getting tested at the same time? How long that takes, and how exactly you guys are managing that right now?
I think the process has been smoother than we thought, or quicker than we thought. So the problem that I don't really like our schedule right now because we have to get the tests back before we practice, and in future years, I think we can do things not on the field while we wait for the test results, as long as we're distanced and taking care of each other that way. But today was very fast. I mean, I don't have a time frame for you, but I know we were talking about, well, will this whole process take 4 hours before we get results? And the trainers and doctors and the machines have been, I think they're getting to a level where it's pretty seamless. And what was the other question? What do you want to know, Theo? What else you want to know?
Just what the procedure was like, and how exactly you guys are doing it before practice. How many players are kind of going through it at the same time, and then do they kind of go and hang out with each other after? Is it socially distanced, or I'm just curious what it kind of looks like.
They take this thing, you stuff it up your nose, you put it in this other thing, and then we get into meetings, and we have the results before we go to practice. We have the results way before we go to practice. So.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Zach Armstrong, go ahead.
Coach, I'm curious if you guys had opportunities to go 11 on 11 or 7 on 7 today. How did you go about dividing reps between the quarterbacks?
I think they all got reps, pretty equal amount of reps, I would think. We're trying to get, 2 fields going, trying to get a bunch of reps for everybody. So I would think they all got the same amount of reps today. And that's how unless we cut it short on one period, but I don't think that happened. I don't know how many reps that is, but I anticipate, an even amount of reps as we move forward for at least the first week. I don't know, maybe that changes. I don't know.
Okay, last question. Dale Grummer, go ahead.
Nick, sometimes the first practice with a new coach, even in normal times, can be not very productive just because you're trying to teach guys the ropes of the structure of practice. Were you able to mitigate some of that in the last few weeks?
Yeah, I think you can do that in position meetings. You can explain and these guys have done a lot of these same drills and situations as far as team 7 on 7, 1-on-1s, scout. We're not necessarily in scouts yet, but teach periods, unit periods. I think that was, it's not that we went through it and did like a mock practice or anything like that, but I thought the coaches did a nice job. And there wasn't a lot of confusion, which I think is a good sign for day one.
And
All right.
maybe,
So, go ahead, Dale.
maybe a couple of personnel questions. Is Zeus back in the fold?
Jesus? Yes.
When did that happen?
He's been
Spring.
early spring.
Spring? Okay.
I don't know where.
And-
I mean, but it's not anything that he's been with us for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
Okay. And is Rocky Katawanga out of the picture?
Right. He's medical, but Rocky still has great desire to be a contributor to this team. He's around. He's still finishing his rehab. But yeah, it's there was a medical retirement on Rocky.